Jesus. So you're going to be offended. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be possibly thrown in jail. The Bible tells us all these things. But remember, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So we must keep going, and we must understand Ephesians 4:31 and 32 that says, do not be bitter or angry or mad. Never shout angrily or say things to hurt others. Never do anything evil. Be kind and loving to each other and forgive each other, just as God forgave you in Christ. Once again, we've been talking about this all week long, about forgiving people. God wants us to have a clean conscience. If there's a heart, stony heart in you, remember what Christ said. Remember what God said in Ezekiel chapter 36. He said, I will take out the stony heart out of your heart, and I will give you a heart of flesh. If we are dealing with some things that have brought hurt and pain and even tears to our eyes, my brothers and sisters, our God is able. Our God is able to heal those deep wounds. He is able to turn your life around if you let him, because we don't have to carry those burdens. He tells us, come unto me, all ye that are heavy laden. Cast your burdens on me, and I will give you rest. You have an opportunity to get out from under that unjust load that you don't have to carry. Someone hurt you. Someone said something that really cut you deep. Don't try to cut them back. Take it off. Take off those grave clothes and put on a new robe, that new robe of righteousness. And you can do it, my brothers and sisters, because remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
And good morning, everybody. Here we are. It's another Thursday. David and Howard here, Siderfield, the Kaz Walker Stars and Stories of the Kaz Walker Show. Good morning, fellas. How are we?
Good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
Everybody bright-eyed and bushy-tailed?
There we are again. I was just good to be anywhere.
It is good to be anywhere. Just good to be going. Good to be.
It is. Everybody might not believe it, but you're just one breath away from the end.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
I mean, you end quick. Yeah, we're glad to be here. We've been meddling over some of the old things back at the Music Barn in '66. I got just a few things I'll read here.
What'd you do with all the old stuff that was in the store? Anthony and them still got it over there?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of stuff up.
Okay.
Some people come in. I just come in and look at all these pictures.
Look at all the stuff.
As kids and like that. But when we opened it up, just barely got going good. Why, Mr. Walker, he wanted to start coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, now, we got to get a promotion in here. I said, you don't want that, all we got to do. We got to get a promotion in here, and I said, well, what is it? What are you going to do, Mr. Walker? Let's have a goose eating contest, he said. I said, how do you do it? He said, well, you put 50 grains of corn in a bunch of cups. And when anybody comes in, they write their name down and guess how many grains of corn the goose is going to eat. So he told me, I've told part of it before. I got to hear the Fairfax to read about it this morning. I found it this week over there. Somebody took it down and stuck it somewhere, and I laughed. Looked and said, there's a goose eating contest. Or some of it. It started at 81 and quit at, I guess, the last of 83, or somewhere down 83. Yeah, because nothing been tore off here. It was probably 83, I'd say, somewhere, because then we went to a different one, because it come a flood, and the goose was down there, and he got out and washed down the creek where he last.
He's gone, huh?
Yeah, we had to wait a week or two, and then he got he got sick, got hurt, and he passed on, and we didn't get another goose. We just quit him after it. But anyhow, Mr. Walker said, now what you do, you don't feed him for about 2 or 3 days. Well, see, that's not...
Can't do that.
I just said one day. I put him up and he gave him nothing. Well, he was about dead in the third day, and he stuck him up there and said, well, he ain't eating. I said, did you feed him? I said, no, he had them for 3 days. And he ate just a few grains, wasn't much. Well, the old boy that took care of him for me, Indian boy over CR, he'd go up and get him out of the feed room at the barn. That's where we kept him, and he'd bring him down, carry him. Oh, he was just a pet. He just becomes a pet. He'd walk in the front door and set him down. He'd just walk up to the stage, because he knew it was eating time.
Yeah.
And old people would pet him as he went by, and look at him. We'd set him down, he'd just walk right up the stage. And then he'd go up and pick him up, hold him, and talk to him. Mr. Walker's preaching with his hand. Oh, now, this is going. Everybody got your guesses in. Well, that time, he ate 3 grains. And Mr. Walker said, if you switch gooses on me, this is a 7th-day advance. And what it was, he forgot and left the top off the feed barn like this thing all week. Crawlers sticking out. And what's funny, if you do hold them off for a day, excuse me, if you do hold off for a day, and then they start eating, they eat real fast, and it's like a softball comes out right here. They'll crawl. They call that the crawl. And then they'll take 2 or 3 sips of water to wash it down. See, and he said, now, let him eat a cup, and then give him a sip of water, and then let him eat a cup, give him a sip of water, and keep things going, because he quit.
Yeah.
Get his crawl full, he quit eating. So, you heard people say, I've got a crawl full of this, I've got a crawl full of that. That's what they're talking about.
That's where it's from.
Because, see, they store it right there, and then they digest it, swallow it as little as they want to.
Okay.
And digest their food. They don't just put it down on their stomach, they just put it in a crawl, and then they let it go down to the stomach. I mean, it's history if anybody wants to know about that. I mean, Ron, in case you get in the goose business,
I'll be more.
Forget about that.
I'll be more educated to the crawl.
Okay. You didn't know what a crawl was?
No. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe.
You wasn't sure how it
wasn't
worked.
sure. No, I wasn't sure of the workings and the goings on with it.
You had some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chickens do the same thing.
Yeah.
And geese is bad. Well, I mean, they look about like a softball. They were great big. Ducks do the same thing. But anyhow, we got the goose straightened out for the next week, and then people started guessing on him. Now, I don't know who was the very first person, but in 92, it started in 1981 is when it started, but I found it tore a lot of these leaves off of it. But here is 1982, July, Richie Rippey, he guessed 300 grains and won $260.
There you go.
It was a lot of money back then.
It was, yes, sir.
Well, the way it worked was you put $20 a week
in the pot.
If you go in, if you get it right, you get $20. If you didn't, you had to go another week. Look how many weeks he had. There's 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Nobody got that thing in 13 weeks. And he had exactly 300 grains of good. Because, see, you feed it 50 at a time, and then if you don't eat that last 50, you count them in. Add it to that. In July, 18th, Paul West, whoever it was, won $20. He got the next one. 297 grains. He thought, boy, he's going to be eating just about that other end, 297. Well, here's the way it went. No telling how many people guessed. And what you do, you look on the paper. If somebody done got that number, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You take another number because whoever got the number, we go down the numbers.
Gotcha.
We don't read the name. We go down the numbers if we don't hit that number. Here it is. The goose tonight is eat 300 grains of corn. I want to see if we got any 300 grains of corn on there. And then if you got 3, if the 10 threes on there, they're lost.
Yeah.
So they took a number somebody done that. First come, first serving here. Then it went to August, and Carrie Brown won $40. And then it went, Tammy Ingram won $40. I guess it's 2 weeks. Here's a 3-weeker. September, Billy Pack won $60. And here's one, they won $20.
How many grains did they eat each time, does it say?
Yeah, it does, yeah. Let me start back up here. 297, then it jumped to 357. So, I mean, you've heard, you got about as much, say, is God give a goose? You're as unpredictable as a goose.
Yeah.
People say that. You're
Sure.
unpredictable as a goose. That's where they get it. Look here, he eat 357, then he eat 349, 241, 278, 331, and then look here, this guy won, Larry Combe, I believe he is. He won at 220, and he won $280. It missed that many weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you might go 13 weeks or see it.
Without a guess.
Nobody win, and we just keep putting it up there. Tonight, the goose eating contest is up to $360. Let's see if anybody's gonna walk out loaded. And here's some more. There's a guy won. He guessed 442. Now look where the jump at is.
Wow.
442. He won $240.
Huh.
350. He won $180. 319. He won $140.
Huh.
And 295, he won $20. So he gave next. Look how far he jumped.
Yeah.
192 to 253 was $40. Here's one, 396. He
You
won
never know.
$160. And there's another at $40 and $60. 247. They went down to 150 grains. And these people, they was guessing up in the 300s.
Sure.
This guy guessed 150 and won $160. He dropped halfway of what he was eating. That's strange, ain't it?
It is strange.
And here's one, Campbell, guessed $356 right after 221, and she won $280.
Well.
I mean, it's kind of, it's fun, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
And Stallings, then he won the very next week, $20, and then it went 2 weeks. No, it went, next week was $20. Next week was $20. And here's what they guessed, 401, 320, and 400. And the 400 got it. And 401 got it. You eat 1 grain different them 2 times. And here's one year, 327 grains, and he won $20. It just keeps going. Oh no, that's really something interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? So we got out of that in '83, and I said, well, we're going to do something else. And if the mayor's listening, she'll probably like it. Remember, her father had a newspaper.
Ernie.
Well, I come up with this idea, and I said, we're going to put a coupon in the newspaper. Well, if you buy a newspaper, you get to, every time you buy a newspaper, you get a coupon. That you can guess how many corns is in a jar. Faye was on one new. She changed them every week. She didn't jump from here to there. You know what I mean? She got up in 1,000. And she'd count them because she knows what she had and what she take away.
Yeah.
See, she'd take away so many or add so many, and she'd take that lid, one of them big old jars.
Yeah.
She'd write it on a piece of paper and drop it down there, and nobody could get to it because we wouldn't do it. I want them to win.
Yeah.
See, it's the thing I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
If you could, fair and square, but you guess how many grains of corn you got to guess how many times you bought a newspaper. Well, we got up selling like 200 newspapers on Saturday night. We make a roll with newspapers over, a stack of them. And that way, see, it'd give us a free advertisement in it. And we get to, somebody asked me one time, he said, somebody told me, it might have been somebody else, he said, what do you run a side of the paper every week? He said, if you sell 250 papers a week, I'll put you in. But, excuse me, something I thought. But anyhow, he said, he sent them papers over, big bundles. Ada was working for him, Ada Moore at the time. She was one of the ticket sales. And she'd bring him papers over, and boy, we just sell them sometimes. Sometimes people would buy 10 newspapers, maybe 20 newspapers, just get them coupons. Yeah. You'd buy a newspaper because you couldn't...
Just to guess the coin.
Yeah, all of them had dates on it you couldn't use last week, this week. We take them up, too. You say, here, I brought 10 newspapers. We'll make you... They'd write down for you.
Yeah.
It's like you're sure they didn't get they might write their name down. I don't think they did. We'd say, what's your name? They'd write down, put your guess. We tried to keep it where nobody couldn't cheat, and... Then we went from that went for several years. How much popcorn do you eat?
The goose?
Huh?
Popcorn the goose would eat?
No, anybody would eat.
Oh.
Any number, they put a number in there.
Mm-hmm.
We put 50 grains of popcorn in a cup.
Yeah.
And the way we done it, I forget exactly how you could only have one eater a week.
Yeah.
And it would look some way. I think everybody wanted to, I don't know how it was, everybody that wanted to enter the contest, free, everything free, drop your name in this big roll-down basket, and whoever name we put out, they got to eat the popcorn.
Gotcha.
If you didn't want to eat it, you didn't put your name in there. It's just a fun thing to watch somebody do it.
Yeah.
Then you come up and you sit down on the seat there in front, and they put 50 grains of popcorn in the cup at a time, and you eat it. And one of them figured out how I was doing it. And then I changed it real big. But what I was going to tell you, the goose eating contest, you could be king or queen for the night. Go back and get your free hot dog and Coke, and you got a free meal.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a big chair that Mr. Walker used to sit in up there. And it's fun, wasn't it? You'd walk up there and sit down in that big chair, and here's the winner. Whoever won that, we got a picture of them, took a picture of them, put it up. They're sitting there as a queen for the night, and we went and got them. You remember one of them fish places give them big old king things?
Burger King used to do it too, yeah.
Maybe it's Burger King. Yeah, that's what it was, Burger King.
Yep.
And we get them king things from them, and we king. You put one of them on you, and then you go back there and eat. And it lasts about 15, 20 minutes. In the show, and that was one of the biggest things of the show. We didn't just start off with, we'd play to break time.
Yeah.
And this went on the last 15 minutes after that, we had break. And this is so everybody could get in on it. And you didn't if you wasn't there, we just hold your money before it go add your name. But break time now, we're going to give away a lot of money if you win. And break time, we're going on these newspapers and see, there's going to be a winner every week on the newspaper.
Yeah.
And what we done, we had a bunch of sponsors on it. Hammer sponsored it, give a gift certificate. And we had Mad Jack, we give away Swain.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people we had sponsoring it. And then they had it each week, and they'd add something. Oh, we get a big pot, boy. I remember we had that, Hammers had that one year, and put a Christmas, called it Christmas shopping spree. And they had every week, whoever won it, I forget how we were doing it. It might have been that way. We were doing it with something, though. And you have to eat but see, usually it'd be about 10, 12 people, maybe 20 that want to eat popcorn. And so they'd get up there and put their names in, we'd draw it, and they'd come up, and they sit down in the big captain's chair and sit there and eat. We got crowned, and that's something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the days, we did things that people had fun with, and they really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting. And then, see, people gets tired of bluegrass all the time or country all the time. They like something new.
Yeah.
And I learned from Mr. Walker to keep something new on the market. Every time he could, just keep something going new.
Something different.
Yeah. Boy, he was good. He had a thing in front of his store, a big old box. You had to step up to look in it. And he said, "Look at the world's biggest bat." Everybody thought it was one of them flying bats,
Yeah.
And you'd step up on that box looking at that hole, and there was a brick, great old big, said, "World's biggest brick bat." And he had squirrels. What he done, he built a big box right in front of the big picture window, plate glass window.
Mm-hmm.
And you could sit there and them squirrels would carry them nuts back all day long. Carry them nuts back up to their den. He had them
Yeah.
den big. Like, boy, they're just working carrying them squirrels. He'd put maybe 2 gallons of nuts, that's hickory nuts or walnuts or whatever he had. And he'd carry them back. Well, the next day he'd load it for that. He'd reach it back there and get all them nuts out and take them back up there, and the squirrels work all day long with them nuts.
Just to keep people entertained.
Oh, yeah. I saw him using one of Mr. Walker's here at it's a comedy barn.
Uh-huh.
They had Steve Curry, a good friend of mine, where he picked for me, and you know him too, but good guitar picker. They put him in there, and he put a big diaper on. Said to see the world's biggest man or something in a diaper or something like that. And you'd step up on a box and look in there, and when did there's Steve sitting in there, the beard and all that. That's one they probably, and then that one they had with buried him in the ground when they had that with the glass radio station over.
Yep.
Who could stay in here and stay alive for the longest. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
What went on, they had all kinds of prizes. I know the girl that won it, I don't know her, but I knew her mama real well, and she got $10,000.
Yeah.
And back in, that's way back on, what was that, 30 years ago, I guess, or 20?
Oh, yeah.
That was a while back. Didn't they do that at the mall? Was it
At the mall?
Yeah,
East Town Mall.
East Town Mall. And they put them in a glass room,
Yeah.
and whoever stayed the longest.
You could go out and use the bathroom, you had 15 minutes,
Yeah.
get back in. If you was late, you didn't get to come back in.
Exactly.
They weighed it down to 2 people,
Yeah.
and she won the $10,000 deal, and she bought her a house with it, little house.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was in the 80s. When
Mr.
80s
Walker started that.
yeah.
The Digger Rodale of our
New Rodale, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
is,
Yeah. He's put him in
Chapman Highway.
buried him underground.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
30 days.
You know,
And promotions, I mean, stuff like that works. It
somebody
gets
jumped
people
on
talking.
about that and poof, said, "Well, Lord, he gonna die there." I said, "No, we get a nurse. He got 20 girls, cashiers, some nurses. Beautiful."
Just sit there watching.
Yeah, you got him girls, he said him cashiers,
Uh-huh.
and you put a nurse suit on him, and one of them things that you listen to your heart and blood pressure thing, and they didn't know what to do, breathing here, and they reached in there and listened to him every so often. No, we check. We check it every hour. Did you hear him saying that?
Oh, yeah.
That's where he talked with his hand. He like he wasn't going to get out, and he'd throw it in there.
It's true.
They took me one of them old boys over there, and they came up and Mr. Walker said, "Give me a quarter. Give me a quarter. What do you want with a quarter?" So I'm done there, Mr. Walker's going to buy me some candy. He said, "Why don't you just steal it?" He said, "If we stole it, yes, we're going to pay for it today."
He loves stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
He really liked him. He liked to see somebody had enough spunk to try to play a trick on him because I asked him out. I said, "Don't it bother you to be sued for $10 million? No, that's not a long suit." He said, I want to show him up there my stinger's still sharp. That's a long suit.
He's pretty sharp, but they never did beat him.
Yeah.
He just came up with all those ideas, too. I mean, he probably had seen some somewhere along the way, but a lot of them he just thought up himself.
I think he did, too. You know, Fred Smith is like that. He could just write comedy out of anything he saw.
And Mad Jack was like that, but he took a lot from Mr. Walker.
Oh, yeah. Lord, he took the world, Mr. Walker. That's what got me in with him. I went in to save Christmas trees, and when I walked in, I saw he had a lot of newspaper ads, and I thought, well, all you got to do, I'll make him some money.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in. I said, do you know, I'm David West, Kaz Walker Show. Do you know me? He said, I guess I do. I watch you every morning. I said, I'm glad to see you. It's what you need. And I said, well, you want to make some money? He said, well, you know I do. I said, I'm going to give you a deal. I'm going to sell you 100 Christmas trees for $100. And the first 100 people come to your store Sunday evening, gets a free Christmas tree. He said, I don't believe that'd work, Wiz. I said, yeah. He said, what kind of trees are they? I said, cedars. This is an old-fashioned Christmas tree. I said, you got to build it up now. Talk about a limb or some leaves. Talk about, he's excited about it. I'm excited about it. It's going to work. And he thought it might not work. He went and got 100, them big $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You own $1,000, you own a Christmas tree. He said the trees went out. Ain't nobody want $1,000. So I still got him there. He called me on Monday after Sunday, and he said, can I get another load of trees for this weekend? And I said, yeah. I said, did he get them? They cleaned every one of them off the lot. Said, I took in $10,000 yet, the biggest day I've ever had in my life. He said, that's a shot in the arm, man. He said, I didn't think people go nuts over them old trees in the cow pasture. And I said, yeah, they like them because they live in the city. They can't get them.
Yeah.
I said, it's worth the trip. Just go and get a free tree and drive out in the country and take an axe and walk.
Yeah.
Well, see, I could get trees where there wasn't no tree. I cut tops out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Make trees go out of the tree, man. I'd like to know how many thousand them things I've cut.
There ain't no telling.
I had my axe that I showed it to somebody. Oh, I let the guy use it the other day, double bit.
Yeah.
See, if it was a single bit axe the real good one was a Sager. Sager was your, well, I got one of them Sager axe. I'd listen to them old people talk, and I knew what to get. And it said, and a full Sager was double back, double blade.
Got it.
So I got me a double blade. I thought, boy, I'll get a double blade, and then if I hit something like that and do all this, switch over to the other. See, right while I'm going, I have to go back to the truck, get another axe. Oh, man, I got that thing. I put it behind the seat. I still got it over there. This boy come out about 3 weeks ago or 4, and I had him cut some roots growing up in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And he shoveled around it, and they took that axe. I said, now that axe has cut a lot of trees. It's still sharp. And the blade is real thin.
Mm-hmm.
I got one had a real thin blade. It's old. Somebody put a hickory handle in it, I guess. It's a homemade handle in it, but it was somebody, back in they done them right. They scraped them with glass, made them fit. Oh, they're precision. I've had people make them. I got the pattern that the old man made. He's hanging up in that cabin.
Uh-huh.
The pattern that he made his axe handles out of. He draws them out. And worked them. And I saw my daddy put one in, and he'd get it pretty close, and he'd take a piece of glass and scrape it. You never sandpaper. We take glass and scrape it.
Huh.
The thing is fit dead. When it goes in there, it just barely goes in. And they take them wedges and put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the Sager axe, boy, I cut. They say, get a chainsaw, so I cut faster than you can. One big whack, you know, you got to keep that thing running, and then stopping and getting in the honeysuckle. Well, that axe, never over 2 licks to take a tree down. But you got to hit it right.
Yeah.
And you can't just walk up and go hit it like that. You got to stand and look at it just a second. And when you got to get ready and come down with pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one lick. I watched this old man hit the overhaul. So I said, I want that one right there instead of just fishing. We'll start cutting on it. He said, that's one you want? We want that. And I said, right here. And you turn around and stand, and then you bring an axe back. You go, wham! And he's one big wham. I thought, he's got some tricks. I'll steal this. I'll tell you something else. And Hard knows this. He saw it, I know. You take one of them tar places over there, and a lot of black people worked on tars. Boy, they were good.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson Tar Company, you remember? Used to be on.
Oh, yeah.
And that black guy, I was standing there watching him. I take that bus. I was driving the bus back in. It was a school bus, and they were flat. And I take it over and fix it. Boy, them things was aggravating. Get that open ring out. I beat my brain out. Couldn't get it. I couldn't get it break loose. So you can get it off if you get it break loose. He moved it around there, and I thought, well, shoot, you're so slow, you ain't never going to get it done. Of course, I'd beat on it for about 30 minutes. He walked around, stretched, took his arm, he said, "Foul!" That thing come loose first flick. You saw him do it, ain't you? Many a time. It's the way they got. It's the way they stood and got their aim.
Mm-hmm.
They hit what they aim. Like you're shooting a squirrel. Until you start shooting, you get a good beat on you getting first shots.
Yeah.
It's like anything else you do, it's art to it.
See, the hammer, that hammer they used,
Yeah.
one of them was got a blade on it, just about like that.
Yeah.
And the other end was a regular hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, if they had a safety ring, which is called a safety ring,
Yeah, boy, that's what's
then they'd break it loose, take that safety ring off, that tar's still in place. And that dude, he'd look at that, take that sharp part, and he'd hit it. Son, every time just right, and that tar just down until you couldn't stomp it around and turn it over to the other side.
Them things was dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you didn't hit it back on just right, they even go right and hit you in the head and kill you. A lot of people got killed that way. So you had to either chain them or turn them upside down.
Yeah.
You know, turn them upside down to make sure that ring got in there right.
Yeah.
If you hit 100-pound eyewear or 80 or whatever you want to put in, but then it was right. You put it on, but, I've had them I'd turn them down if I didn't have a chain, so if it blowed and went down against the ground, still hit me in the head. And you change it, you done every way, ain't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard
He
to
took his head off.
Mm.
I mean,
you know the brains right there.
Yeah,
They
it-
can get up. Well, you think about that thing hitting you 100-pound pressure? Right
Oh,
there?
Lord.
I'm not being many with them. What's that?
I finally got right to the time.
No, you didn't anything. Whatever needed to be done, that's what you done.
Oh, yeah, we had to. You had to. See, I had my trucks that haul trees on me and two-piece wheels like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to take them over every time I get one fixed. I had a garage at that time. And I'd walk around. I'd do just exactly like that guy. I'd walk around real slow and I'd look at that thing. And when I aimed, I'd hit it, and I could break them pretty well first time. Sometimes I'd take two, but usually I could because, you know, if you get in a hurry, you can hit hard,
Mm-hmm.
but you ain't hitting nothing right.
Yeah.
It's like with a bat, you may be batting as hard as you can, but you missed the ball.
Exactly.
You see, it's art. It's like, he said on Gunsmoke, Marshall Dillon, he said, this guy can shoot, he's the fastest drawer I've ever saw. But he's got to be real close to you because he can't draw and aim both at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why he outshot him. He said, I'm going to keep him away from me. You know, everything's got art to it.
Yep.
You can do it and never bet on another man's tricks.
No.
Of course, I probably told this before, but we was talking the other day about when I started Mac, there was a big black gentleman up there, black gentleman that worked up there. And we'd take that bar, it was about this long.
Mm-hmm.
It had one side of it flat. Well, we'd take hold of that bar against that rivet, 5/8 steel rivet,
Yeah.
like that. And then take that 16-pound sledge and hit that. And usually it didn't take over 2 licks. But he had a good eye on
Pop the
him.
rivet out.
And I've held it, oh yeah, and he cut them rivets. Of course, we put it back, we put it up in boats,
Yeah.
5/8 boats. But he never missed.
And you have
If
to
he
trip.
ever missed it,
You have to
I was going to
trust
say,
that guy.
you were holding the bar. Yeah, you better hope you don't miss.
yeah.
So you have to trust that guy because if you shake or move or you hit your arm, break
Yeah.
it,
Oh, you
take your
take-
arm off.
He'd take that hammer and he'd tap that bar and he'd come back. And you didn't ever look. You just stood there and held that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Bam! He did that, dude. It just jarred the whole truck, but
Yeah.
But Mr. Bob, he could sure cut them rivets.
I saw him do it, and I saw him look at it one time and come back like this on different things,
Yeah.
on frames and stuff. And when he come back, he never took his eye off that. He just said, bam! Right there and he hit it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Scotty Stone was doing that on frame. So we got a doghouse base, and he had cut part of the frame out on the back of the car. Take the full board up, the board up back there, and they cut it out, and then they welded it back down about 4 inches.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was good because Ken Irwin in my garage, and he put it back, but he needed it lowered about 3 or 4 inches, so that base going there, and you had to take a bridge down, and it's shut. This is about that 4, and put a cloth over it, and it shut down. See, and boy, he was beating on it. I mean, he was hammering and a beating. He couldn't. We went down a little bit, and Stracoman said, "Well, you can't do that way. Give me that sledgehammer." And of course, Ken was a guy that didn't have no humor much. You know, he didn't like about very many things. And he walked right up to that thing, and the trunk lit up. And he took that hammer and went and touched it, and he come back and marked that thing one time. Missed that trunk lid about that far. And he come back with that hammer and said, and we all jumped back. I thought we'd break a handle off, come off, hit you in the head. He went wham, and he hit about 6 licks, and the frame was down there. Yeah, I mean, he fanned it every time. I watched it. I look up there, and he missed it that forward and take her down. Every four, he missed it just like what he saw.
Yeah.
And Ken said, "Well, I don't know about you, but I think he's been in the pen busting some rock or something. He had a little practice." He said, "Nobody ain't that good." He had some practice, and he probably done some time somewhere.
I've seen them fifth wheels on trucks.
Yeah.
This dude now, he's probably 6'6", 6'7". But that dude, he had arms. He broke him, get one of them fifth wheels.
Oh, wow.
Like this, and pick it up, sit up on the back of the truck.
What does that thing weigh?
I don't know. I wouldn't even, of course, I wouldn't even tempt it myself, but he was much of a man, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Junior Shelton told me that they had them old flathead Fords, you know, they're pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Motors that his daddy, they'd put a chain on it, put a bar on it, and his daddy'd pick it up and sit on the frame, then get it up, up and stand on each side of the frame and hold it up while they bolted it.
Yeah.
Pick the whole motor up and sit up in there.
Yeah.
He was a stout man, though. He shook hands with you, your bones popping. Well, I'm scared if you shake hands with me, I just better stick my fingers in there, and then it's about break. If you had a ring or something on, just don't pick that day. Okay? Oh, he didn't mean to. Look here. And when he shook, he come down like that and jerked your shoulder up right. You're about out of business when he shook hands with you. Hey, how you doing? Well, he shook hands with me the first time, and I thought I'd cry. I was going to give him a good handshake. He caught me right there, and he bent I thought it broke it.
Yeah.
It felt me like bones was going somewhere. And I mean, they just introduced him as St. Shelton. He was a good musician. He played music a lot. He was a big musician. And he run some big shows here in Knoxville now. And I thought, good night, don't he like me to start with? That's just what he done. Then come down. But he was a big guy, but he wasn't. He's probably about 300 pounds, 325. But he's big. Yeah. He's a big man. But
I remember somebody asked, well, I did an interview or something, said, what irritates you most? Said, you know. And he said, when I shake hands with someone, they squeeze my hands. That irritates.
Who said that?
Mel Haggard.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, he's a musician.
Sure,
he
can't afford to.
Mess his hand up. He said, but somebody squeezes my hand real hard, you know, said, when I shake hands with him, that irritates the devil out of me.
Didn't this irritate the devil? I mean, it hurts so bad that I go take a bath. I saw, hey, they bought it. This is kind of funny. He played the Gibson all the time. Old Gibson flat top. He had no one. And he'd take two guitars, when he done them shows, because Junior sat back around, he had a box of all strings, all kinds, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And Junior, he'd break some strings. You didn't know the guitar, and they had him one. Junior sat back and put strings and tuned them for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we made it one Christmas, brought him Big Martin. And said, Daddy was so stout and tough, said, he went out there and put that Big Martin on and started doing the show, and said, the strap come loose, and he just caught it with his knee and knocked the whole bottom out of it. He said, give me my gifts. That's funny. It just tore
Didn't
it
know his
down
own
on the
string.
first song or two.
Yeah.
But he was much of a man. He said, Junior said that he was in the hospital and his daddy come over and he couldn't talk because his jaw was broke. And he couldn't answer him, Said they didn't know his jaw was broke. He was in a wreck or something. Said, Daddy come over and was trying to figure out why nothing wasn't working. He said, he got that doctor he had, and he said, listen to me. He said, he called him a shirt collar straight up against the wall. He said, don't you listen to me a minute. He held him up there. Said, his jaw is broke. He can't talk. And said, he turned him loose, and that doctor looked around like that. He got into a doctor right quick. Oh, he was a big guy.
My dad, he was pretty healthy himself.
Yeah.
And I seen him take a 25, 30-foot telephone pole and pick up the end of it and walk to the middle of it, get on his shoulder and walk off with it.
Yeah.
And my older brother went in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So he came out. He came out on his first leave after boot camp. Because he thought he was a man then. We sat reading breakfast one morning. And mother cleaned the table off and Melvin, he reached up, put that arm down like that. Arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle your dad.
Dad, he didn't say a whole lot. He just kind of grinned. He got him like that. And Melvin, he did his arm like that. And I does it. He said, you ain't no man yet, boy. But my dad climbed telephone poles and said his leg was that big. I mean, just solid muscle, like Mr. Walker was.
Yeah.
Lord, he climbed them telephone poles.
You worked for a phone company?
Yeah, 40 years. Yeah. Started out, of course, my dad, he didn't have an education.
Mm-hmm.
But he started off with them digging post holes. You get a rock, you take an old big bar and you bust a rock.
Oh, yeah.
Big,
I just said,
and you go down with a pair of 16-foot diggers,
Mm-hmm.
and you get down that hole.
Post
That always, the hole, the handles, I mean, that's how deep you had to do it back then.
Yeah.
And he said, he worked for him, said, come on that first day. Said, Daddy, I said, well, what do you think about telephone company? Said he had blister in his hand, he busted blister. He said, well, I can say one thing. Said, I give him one day, but I'll never give him another. Said, that's more than 5 o'clock today, going to kick him out of bed. Said, let's go, boys, that work ain't going to kill you. He stayed with him 40 years after that. So. But yeah, he was a pretty hefty feller.
they come over, the power company came over to Shadowville way back in the 60s from Mr. Addison's there. And he had a new set of postal diggers. They got postal diggers longer handles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, made out of steel. They're not made out of that
Right.
tin stuff. And he said, we're going to I got postal diggers right here. He said, they hit that down through them blocks and don't let field there in there. The creek used to be on the other side of the highway, and all that's field.
Mm-hmm.
Big old clumps of concrete stuff was it busted. He went down through there about 4 or 5 and turned them things up. Mr. Evans said, good night. Said, let me straighten him out. He said, it won't do no good, but I have to go get some good today. He went down and he dug it. Well, we could do them back in.
Oh, yeah.
They had art to that.
Yeah.
He had art to everything.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I remember it got a drought one summer, and we're digging. You know how the old slate is, boy, it's hard to dig anyhow. And this old boy's going to dig, so we can't dig yet. Said, I don't know what we're going to do. I said, I know what we're going to do. Well, we got some things here. We're going to get 5 gallons of water, and we'll keep it full of water, and every time it goes down 2 or 3 inches, you dig. That's slow. Dig you run to the water runs down, then we dig slow. It took us about an hour. We dug it. And Steve was talking about my nephew. He's telling my other nephew, Steve with us, like once he on TV. He was telling what Steve told him. He said, you know, Uncle David said he didn't want to go back to him. He couldn't do that. He said, he called me down there to dig a sink drain up. It was 2 degrees, either above or below. And said,
ain't much difference.
He won't dig it, and said, he took that pick and hit it, and it come back like a piece of steel. Said, we can't do that. I said, yeah, we will in a minute. And I went and got a water hose and looked at the hot water heater. I started wetting it until it got down about this deep, and then it could dig. So there's a way to do everything if you have to.
There's always a way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when I set them steels across that creek, that monument truck was a pretty heavy truck. He lifted them big old monuments.
Yeah.
I picked up one end of that steel, and I looked at their front wheels. I had locked down. Front wheels up this high off the ground. That's how heavy that stuff was.
Yeah.
It's big when it come out from a railroad company. Oh, and guess what? Last week, I believe it was last week, you remember me telling you about putting that steel on there, and them 3 guys riding on it, Fred Smith and the Indian boy, the guy that I bought it from was on the bumper too.
Trying to keep the front end
I
down.
closed the front end down. And he come out and he looked at me and said, you don't know me, do you? I ain't saw him about 30 years. And I said, I know your face a little bit, but he told me who he was. You remember you brought that steel that went out of that bridge? I said, yeah. And you had us to ride on the bumper. I said, yeah, you one on the bumper. Yeah. He said, yep, I rode that. They rode it from way up Raccoon Valley. And they got down to that turn, it was walking with me. And he was laughing at that, said, yeah, and you had a big old shirt or something tied on the end of it, and this hound dog come running down the highway grabbing at it. I said, that ought to be in the movies.
That's crazy.
That was funny. It was funny deal. But he come in there and talked to me. Oh, he was glad to see me. He said, I said, how come you quit playing music? They were a big professional band, so they had big busts. And he said, well, we was gone so much, it was either stay home with my family or stay gone all the time. And I just chose to get a job and stay home, so I quit. Yeah. Well, they had big, nice bus, and he done a lot of shows. But when he told me who he was, I said, yeah, steel hauler.
How'd you convince him to stand on the bumper? I don't guess you had a choice, though, if he's going to get it home.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. They had that steel hauler. I needed it bad for the next morning so they could start being on that bridge.
Uh-huh.
Had put them across there. I had to get over and set them. Of course, I had a tractor on there so I could drag it.
Yeah.
Lift it up. Enough to get it up where it went. But that, on this other side, the highway side, I just going to lift it up and set it.
Uh-huh.
I looked up front wheels. It's all bad. Even that monument truck is up. But, you know, we've done a lot of things. I remember I bought a house. Well, it wasn't a house. It was a big building, but they fixed it up to live in. It had paneling, and it was real nice, but it was just one big room, and somebody lived in it a little bit, I guess. And I bought it, and we got up in Dutch Valley somewhere way up there. Anyhow, we couldn't come no way but go to Lake City and come out because we couldn't get under tractors and stuff. And it took us to dark to get that thing loaded. We started that morning, and we finally got it jacked up high enough to get a float under it, big float. And he had a big dump truck, and we pulled out on the road up there. And he said, the guy driving, he said, well, we can't drive this now. I said, how come we can't? He said, it's after dark. This is over the limit, you know, what width. And he said, I said, well, we're going to stay here on the side of the road, and in the morning we're going to go. And so I put blinkers on my truck. He went all through Lake City, way up through that valley to get to Lake City, and he come out, and he said, I'm out of gas. And said, he pulled over to the service station there. We set that big old wheel on it. He said, well, we'll get put in jail before we get home. And I said, you know what? As cold as it is, as sick as I am, I wish they would put me in jail. I just lay down and go to sleep. They just feed me a little bologna sandwich or something. And we brought it down and then dumped it that night and set it off and everything. Of course, after...
How big was it?
Huh?
How big was
Oh,
it?
as big as made a good two-room apartment, good size, you know. Oh, it's big, but it's one of them big old floats like they haul dozers and
Yeah.
things on. We had done that, and we could haul it for its weight wide, but it's too wide.
Yeah.
It took over the lane, see. It's probably about maybe 12 feet wide or something.
Yeah.
You could haul it, get a guide car in the daytime.
Yeah.
But not at night. I said, maybe this pulls over and put me in jail.
You wanted to get it home, huh?
Oh, I was so cold. It was cold when we did it. It's ice cold. It down there got down maybe 20 then, 18, 20. I said, I am so cold and so tired. I wouldn't care if somebody took me in jail. I'd be honored than that.
He'd be warm and fed.
Yeah. He gassed up, come out on food. So, it's just
Good
one
Lord.
thing. You got to do what you got to do, I guess. But a lot of things that, you know, I had a lot of people that liked me too. Tommy Sams, he was over here highway patrolling, and I went to Knoxville. I told him before about the Wells Fargo truck.
Mm-hmm.
And here we were dressed up like two bums. Me and that guy I told you didn't grin much or life. And I was driving it and was coming out there, and boy, I looked up and there was blue lights on me. And what he had done, he stopped at the store hunting me because he liked to hang out around over with me. I had the barbershop in, I gave him a haircut and stuff. And he traded on stuff all day. He's a trader, horse trader. He finally went to Morristown. He became sheriff up there. A lot of people know him, Tommy Sams. And anyhow, she said, he's going to Knoxville to get a Wells Fargo truck he bought. And he said, well, I'll go get him. He'll probably need escorted. And he took up there and he saw me and he's going up and I come down. He put the blue light on me up there. He come down, pulled up beside of me and winked. He said, like it come on. And then I kept it for a while. You talk about something for people to look at. I said that front. They stopped all day long wanting to see in there. I put for sale on it.
Uh-huh.
And they stopped wanting to see inside that Wells Fargo truck. Oh, it was just, they just go through it. It was something to see. It was amazing.
Rolling safe, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was a little short truck, but it was made out of pig on it. It had a ton and a half wheels and stuff on it, or 2 ton. It was a tough truck.
Yeah.
And he just kept looking at it. He'd come in there every day or two, and he said, well, that old truck, he said, it's kind of growing on me, and I sold it to him. Tommy on that. He was something. He knew I liked to trade him something. He'd pull in and say, hey, David, what are you doing? I said, I just working his store. He said, get in the car. I said, I saw a trash pile. I'll go in. There's a couple of good-looking broom handles in it. You know, his life, I'm going to run you dinner. You might want to get a trailer. He was bad. He pulled in one day and he said, come here a minute. He said, I know where you get something good. And I said, what is it? He said, it's one of them 10-cent horses. It's just sitting there. I said, where's it sitting at? He said, over in front of Cat Walker Supermarket. I said, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Oh, he'd come in and say, we'd be playing music. He'd say, can you do Ya Are My Sunshine? Ya Are, he'd say. Yeah. He was a good old dude. He's funny. He's funny as he could be, but I thought the world of him. We had a lot of them was real nice like that, you know.
The times has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Well, see, back then, no interstate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I had a lot of them state troopers tried to go to the station where I worked and stuff, and we were just like normal folks. So,
Yeah.
man, it's changed now. They throw their grand in jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get, Rick Campbell said he said he was going to Virginia, and said he has been speeding a little bit. Said he had one of them Mason stickers on the back of his car. I guess he might have been a Shriner in. I don't know if it's Shriner and Mason. Said he looked up and said blue lights. He said they pulled up. He said, "Are you a Mason?" He thought sure it was another Mason. He said, "Yeah." He said, Rick said, "Boy, I got it made now." I said, "Yeah, I'm Mason." He said, "You know, I've tried to get in that for 2 or 3 times, and they just won't have me for some reason." Rick said, uh-oh, now I've got it. He said, you know, that's a good organization, but said, I really respect it, and I help in Shriners for them kids. Said, slow that thing down, just go on. He turned me loose, but said,
he thought he was had, huh?
He thought he had made, and he thought, uh-oh. He had another wreck up there. He said that, he was wrecked. I believe he was on Broadway. He got hit in the back and said that cop, state or county or whatever it was, come see it, wrecked right up. And it was a Mexican hit him. He had no driver's license, and nobody could understand nothing he said. And he don't speak English, you know, and so said that he walked up there, the cop did, and he said, let me tell you what we got to do. He said, I can take you in jail if you want me to. I'll take you in jail. You got no driver's license, no registration on the car, but he said there'll be a gang of them come over, and he'll be out in 15 minutes, because they'll make his bond. He said, and he probably won't show up for court. And he said, I don't know what to tell you, but he said, if you got deductible, I said, $250. He said, I believe it was me. I just turned it into the insurance company and pay that $250 and keep going. He said, it's a losing battle. Oh, yeah. About right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
That's the days we live in.
It's,
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, it's a state law that you have to carry insurance,
Mm-hmm.
especially liability.
Mm-hmm.
But then why do we have to pay for uninsured motorists?
Me neither. There you go. That's something to ponder, Howard.
You're smart.
But it's true.
That's something to ponder.
Of course, I don't know, it ain't that much, but still yet.
We got to pay. That's right. We got to pay for our insurance and uninsured.
And then there's two.
I guess it's just protect yourself more
Yeah.
or less.
For situations just like that.
You
Yeah.
ain't gonna get none of them no way.
Nope.
They probably want you to go feed them.
Good anybody. That's for anybody, drunk or anybody else. You're paying uninsured motors for
Exactly.
somebody ain't got no driver's license or ain't got.
I need somebody to help me pay mine.
Yeah, really.
Heard got one on me. I never had thought about that. That's a good business deal right there.
Well, yeah.
You consider being a real businessman.
Barney.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, did you ever consider going into politics?
No, I thought little enough of us it is, David Earl.
Like old guy asked him one time, said, why didn't you get married? And he said, well, I had a thought to, but I had another thought beat that. He was on and off, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, we was talking about lifting weights where I go. Anthony over is running Ciderville Music now, and Anthony Lay, and he's talking about the other night. He pressed 469 pounds. Boy, it's a lot of weight, ain't it?
Yeah.
Pressed 400, and he said he's got a rotary cup in his shoulders. It's getting bad, giving him trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He said if it hadn't been for that, I could probably done some more. I didn't want to mess it up. 469 pounds. But look at his arms. They look like,
Yeah, he's big.
he's built like a super duper man.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of stuff over there. We'll tell him a little bit about him. He's got Anthony Lee. A lot of people know him, but he must know everybody from every county because they come in there and see him and buy stuff. But anyhow, he's got drums like you. Dron, you got to come over and see that.
I'm gonna go over and see it.
You're gonna be surprised. He's got names of brand drums, Premier and stuff that I didn't even know they made.
Really?
I mean, good. He got high dollar stuff. He sells them up to $10,000 sets on me. You might want to trade yours in.
No, I believe I'll keep mine. I'm just fine with mine. They fit. They fit just fine. They're broke in.
Hey, you like Prince Misty, this old guitar stuck me through thick and thin. I'm not going to let it down now.
No, exactly. That's where I'm at.
He's got all kinds. They got Fender guitars and there's a brand new guitar. I can't think the name of it. It's got it's just something. It's a dynamite guitar. But they make them in, I believe he said Tazewell or somewhere that way. It tells on it, they're pricey, but they sure are nice.
Are Fender and Gibson and those guys, are they still giving like dealer franchises and stuff where you can get, or are they just selling it to the public themselves and you just buy it?
Well, you say Gibson?
Gibson or Fender, any of them?
Oh, Fender takes dealership.
Yeah.
But Gibson, if you talk to them, they tell you they're not taking no dealers right now, but see, they can't make many because the guy that put down on that place, what he done, he took a deal, he'd make flat tops and electrics, Les Pauls and stuff like that. Well, he'd sell them as fast as he can make them, so he don't need a dealership.
No, he's
just direct. He has 2 or 3 dealerships, I think, maybe just a few, not many, but
so you just sell direct.
Just a few, but he can't keep up. So, I mean, why would he want to sell somebody else something? Take an order, but he couldn't never get to it probably.
Sure.
He's gonna get to accumulate that. See, they went under. Gibson did, you know. And I had the paper on it. I think it was $530 million they owed or something. It was way up there. Over $500 million. But you know, it was.
Who's got it now?
Some man bought it. This is what I heard or read on the paper. About $130 million he paid to keep it from going plumb under. But they don't make Banyers and stuff like that anymore.
And just make
mandolins and dobros, and somebody else. I think place in Florida took them Master Tone. They got the Master Tone.
They're just doing,
but it's Gold Tone. It says Gold Tone, but it says Master Tone. They must have bought the name or something like that. It is a good banjo. I bought one for our church.
Okay.
And took it as a gift to them, and I picked it. It's really good. It's probably 90% up with the old Master Tones, I guess. It's up to the mark, and probably if you set it up a lot more, it'd be up to the mark, probably. But he was trying to keep it all just from being, nobody wanted to buy it, I don't reckon. He took that much of it. And, you know, they went to Opryland. Well, see, it was owned by Kalamazoo in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and they made a Heritage guitar, and they made a lot of stuff, and he bought them out. They bought him out. And then he bought out the Weber, which was Flatiron Mandolin Company.
Yeah.
He done away with it after a year or two and called it, just done away with it. He called it was competition. He didn't want it. It was a good mandolin, probably as good or better than Gibson. So the guy that made him was Mr. Weber. And when they actually bought it out and quit, he just called his Weber. He still got that now. That's a real good mandolin. Super good.
Okay.
And he just kept making his mandolins and called them Weber. But I guess they didn't get all the bookwork worked out real good that he couldn't make mandolins. But you know, the dobro, they was building them down in Nashville.
Yeah.
They took that over. I don't know how they did, but see, dobro was Don and Oliver. That's what it was. Brothers.
Yeah.
They were brothers, Don and Oliver.
And then
and that's brothers, Don and Oliver brothers. What it stood for it. Boy, that's been a good seller. Then they died in somebody in California, a big lawyer, he had the estate and took it over, and then Gibson took over it. But I don't know, they probably just distributed them. Yeah. Probably, they made them and everything, so they had everything. But it fell back to someone, I don't know who got it now.
That's interesting.
The guy that worked for Gibson is making the Phil Ledbetters, and he made it just like them and only maybe a little better. So Phil Ledbetter's the best dobro probably on the market right now.
Really?
And I sold a lot of Phils, and then see some of the Gibson people went to Recording King. They went to different big companies. They make Recording King guitars, and then what's that good one's on the market right now is that Crossroads, a real good guitar.
And who makes that? It's
a company of its own. It's a Chinese company, make them for a big distributor in New York, I believe. I believe it's Luke Capri's the name of the company. I used to buy them by the 100.
Yeah, I know. You like them. They're good guitars.
Good sounding guitars you'd ever want to buy. I mean, for a cheap guitar, you won't believe it, man. I mean,
if they play it, they buy it.
Oh yeah.
I thought,
like I said, you know, and I ain't knocking Martin, but it's as good as the low end Martin.
Oh yeah.
The sound is maybe better.
And a lot of times I'd be up front and I look back there hard. We should be writing them up. He'd get them selling. Say, but people tried them. Boy, this is a good guitar. It's the best lower end guitar or mid range guitar, but it's down at low prices. See, made out of solid wood, made just like a Martin. It's the best import that I've ever saw.
Of course, David he had a deal, and that a case is about a $200 case, and the deal he had just so much money, and for another $75, you get that $200 case for that. And of course, I'd be dealing with somebody, and then I go back and ask David to go, or he'd be back there eating lunch or whatever, sleep back, and I'd say, David, I said, these people want this guitar. I said, could we take this for it? Of course, it's what this going to go for. Yeah, I said, out the door, we'll do that. And so I grabbed it. Because it's a good guitar. That's getting their money's worth.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
They've went up a little bit now, but they're still good. I mean, it's still a low price for what they really are.
Yeah.
And I bought so many of them. That guy called me up and said, at that time, he wouldn't let nobody have them down here but me, because he said that, man, what are you doing with them things? Are you stockpiling them? I said, yeah, I'm stockpiling them. I get them out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy 50 to 100 every time. I just say, get down. I said, give me 50 more. And see, I get a big break on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can sell them cheap. But they got them over. Anthony's got them now. I mean, they're good sets. At low price, they're still good guitars.
Yeah.
Because Anthony's, you couldn't deal with a better fella. He's just as good as they can be. But I know back in the day when Martin was going to do it, I've seen David at Christmas, or right before Christmas, maybe order 200 Martins.
Mm-hmm.
And Christmas, that is all gone, wasn't it, David?
Oh, yeah.
We
Clean it.
unload that UPS truck, and we take them off the truck, break them down, give them to David, he go place them, stack them where he wanted.
UPS,
Right up against the seat.
Mm-hmm.
UPS used to have to bring the whole truck to us before they could run it. He told me.
Before they run their
I
route.
see him out somewhere eating after he retired. He said, did you know, lots of mornings I had to sit there and wait till you opened up. We opened up at 9. But I had to wait till you opened up because my truck was full in Solderville. I couldn't go back and do my route till I got Solderville off. He said, you buy the whole truckload. And then, Lord,
I've been there many times, and there'd be 50 guitars in the parking lot, taking them in. Yeah, I've been, you and Rhonda, and
Writing them $107,000 checks.
yeah, they didn't pay for $100-something a day. There's a lot of guitars. We sold 25 to 50 a day. 25 was a low day of instruments, amps and guitars and fiddles and banjos and mandolins. And 50 was a good average day. I had sold as high as probably 200, but in one day, that's the most I ever sold.
that's a lot.
But see, what was happening, a lot of people was buying, a lot of Martin people was buying them because they were playing them instead of get your good Martin skin up. I want this, and I can take it to jam session. And then they got taking them and selling them. You know, they'd sell them for $100 more than I was, but nobody heard of them.
Sure.
In their neck of the woods. And give me another one of them, and then I started doing it. Some of them buy them 2 or 3 at a time. Give me 3 of them things. You do me a little better on 3 or something. You better on, what do you want, a burning sandwich? Yeah. You know, I cut up to all my customers. And they walk through the door and say, come on in, we're glad to see you. You know, yesterday I was looking through some of this stuff and your name was on something like that. Yeah, I bet. I said, go back and look and see if you find it.
Oh, I've been a victim of your salesmanship, man. You ever been to my house? I can start my own music store. I'll just put it to you that way.
I got a deal for you.
Yeah. Oh, he called me. Hey, the one thing he had for me that I didn't take, I wish I would have took, was the Andrew Jackson, the old Hickory Les Paul. He said, oh, I've got this one here, Ron. But it was $5,000 then, Dave.
Well, you bought a bunch at one time.
I did.
About 15 or so, wasn't
we
20?
That many too. We've done that 3 or 4 times. I'd sell them or keep them.
You bought a lot of guitars from me.
I did. I've still got a bunch of them. That PV that auto tunes itself. You remember? Takamine, I got those. Martins, I've got.
You know, I tell you what, Ron, and this is very impressive. we loaded you up, and you'd bought 15 or 20 guitars, and we was trying to carry them up the front because we had other customers, and we was crowded. Everybody had customers. I had 10 people working there. They'd run up there and had his stacked at the door. He come back the next day and brought me a guitar back. Said, "You gave me one too many." And I said, "He's a good guy to deal with. He's honest." You remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. I got him home. I still lived upstairs then. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I got him home, got them all out here, and I was looking at them, and I was looking at my paperwork. I was like, I don't know who this one is. I remember that.
This is another for somebody else.
Somebody else has put in there. And me and Rhonda, and at the time, Donnie. We was all loading fast as we could go.
Oh, boy. Bill, he worked there, and Steve, and the nephew, and James.
Mm-hmm.
We had quite a few people worked.
That James is a...
Then
that dude, he was ticking me.
Poor James or something else.
He left working on banjos. He left setting them up, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he get them right now, buddy.
And he's a teacher, and if I wanted to learn a song, what was that thing I wanted to learn? It was, I forgot the name of it. I need to see if I can play it. It was a good song. But I said, man, I'd like to learn that. Well, when I said that, of course, he read music and everything, too. I knew he'd learned it right quick. He went back there and learned it. Here's where it starts, and here's kind of the way it goes, and then I started picking it. I let him weed them out for me.
You let him figure it out, and then you'd go from there. That's good.
Funny like guy, of course, he's the Marine Corps and he was in service. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, they made you stand at attention, you like that.
Oh, he's a good guy.
And he said, when I got out there, said, I know right there, and said, I wasn't going to be standing no attention no more. And he wouldn't look up. He'd sit, walk around the whole day
Yeah,
like
because
that.
his back was down, so he couldn't look up.
One day we tore that wall out, buddy. We hit rolling that thing of concrete, that wheelbar. He'd run as fast as he could run with it, duff it, and come back with it, have another pile of
Hey, one time, me and Donnie Fox, some of us was putting a roof on the music barn back before we went to commercial 10. We didn't put a roof on it. You tear that old stuff off. But
Folks didn't know what they was in for coming to work for you. They come to work at a music store, sell guitars, and you'd have them up on a roof putting tin on, did they? They didn't know what they was in for.
Oh, yeah, I paid them extra.
I know.
Thought of something to eat.
Fed them.
But anyhow, we was out there taking the roof off. James come in and he said, how do you get one of these high-up jobs like that? And I said, get that wheelbar and start hauling that stuff, putting it in a dumpster truck or whatever, whatever was hauling it off with. He worked about 2 or 3 hours, and he said, I ain't going to never walk around where you're working again. I ain't going to go on high-up jobs, he said.
Yeah.
But he said he had a sign on his teaching room, James's torture room. He said. And then he had another sign that said, James School of Higher Learning. Yeah. No, he's a good teacher.
He was. He's good.
Oh, he taught. Boy, I mean, everybody loved him.
Yeah.
Everybody. But he had a bad habit. If you did a 30-minute lesson, he'd go over talking to you and jump 10 minutes over on somebody else that's sitting there. I said, now listen, James, them people don't wait on you.
Yep.
When he gets 30 minutes, you got to cut them off and get these others because he had them in line.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and got him one of them things where he cook, a timer.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, he get carried away on his own. He knows a lot of stuff and he won't tell you. He's just sweet now.
Yeah, he just,
yeah. It's a business. It's like running a train. You
got to be on time.
Well, you have to get on to him on that. So he went and got him a timer that times your food, your cooking time. He said, look at this. I can get on time now. I said, well, thank goodness. Oh, and here's one I taught him this. And he made a lot of money off lessons because he taught a lot. And he's one that packed strings for me when we had him in the stores. And he did a lot of stuff for me, I mean, like that. And so he made good money. And he said, what he would do, he'd spend his money fast he got it. And he'd say, David, can you loan me $50, get a car battery? My battery's down. I'd loan it to him. And of course, if he didn't pay, he'd just take it out on him. So you got to pay David if you owed him. That Rowdy said, if you owe David and work for David, you got to pay David. But anyhow, It's just every week. I need to get a tar for my car. Or I need to do this or something. I said, James, I'm going to tell you something. I said, now I'm going to tell you something that you need to learn that you've not learned in life. I said, if you get married, I said, now single's a different story. But when you get married and you get a wife and she starts getting big around the belly and you have a kid or two, then you took on the responsibility of a husband and a father. And I said, now you can't act like the kids. You know you're going to have something break down on that car. And what you need to do, lay you back $50 a week. Put it back in your bill for $25 or something. And you'll have to come to me every time you need something. You just reach back on, you got some hidden money. And it went on about a month, and he said, come here, Meredith. He opened his billfold up and said, look what I got. I said, see, you learned something, didn't you? He said, yeah.
Saved up a little bit.
Taught him something. You can never get too old to learn. I've learned some stuff that I just didn't dream of.
Oh, yeah.
And I do it every day because I still see people smart. And I didn't do it as good as I wished I had, but I tried to surround myself with extra smart people. I should, as one guy said, I told him, old boys, you should have got over it. David was Cass Walker before he did, because he'd done something with it. You all didn't do nothing. But it's, it's the way you've got to learn from the guy that knows.
Yeah.
Just like watching them guys break them tires down. Well, I'd beat my brains out, and I was hitting hard as he was, but I didn't hit right.
Right.
It's like hitting something safe or something.
Yeah.
I watch them safe movers. They take, if they want to scoot that thing, they don't push on it, they hit it. And it'll go 2 or 3 foot.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it don't hurt them, and they just, bam, I mean, they know how to do it. You got an art to that. There are art to everything, that you do.
There's some arts I don't care to know.
It seems like I saw about my dad when he was digging them post holes and lifting them telephone poles. Well, they'd have to get on one end of it, and they get that hole dug. They put something in that hole, and they start walking up by that pole. They'll slide it down the hole. Of course, they got a machine that does all that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I watched it with my hand.
yeah. And everything
Climb
was
the
behind.
pole.
Yeah.
The old spurs.
Yeah. Run up it like
like a squirrel.
Yeah.
I know my dad was scared to death. He was a big man, but he didn't like snakes and lizards. Boy, he was, so he was climbing a pole once. He's telling mother. He got up top of that pole, and this little old lizard was going up the other side of the pole, and he's going up. And of course, he got up and started to set his hooks in his belt. Well, that dude come across the top of that pole right down in his face. Out comes the hooks and down to the ground. He had them Crusoe spitters all in his stomach, chest, and stuff. Brother said, what in the world made you do that? He said, I hate them lizards. He said.
My daddy was scared of spiders and mice.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't scared of them, but it bothered him,
Yeah.
It bothered me. I had one over somewhere he got in a store, and Jerry Allred was over there. He was a cop at that time. And,
Jerry worked for me for a long time.
yeah, I know what he is. He was a disc jockey, wasn't he?
Yep, on Saturday mornings.
That little mouse was sitting over there. We had a little place where we eat there in the front for a long time, and he got there on a loaf of bread, just a little old big thing about like that. He was sitting there eating that, and they said, Lord, look, there's a mouse got in here. He's eating my bread. Look at it. And Jerry's standing there, and I said, shoot, I'll get him. And I just walked over to him, and I said, bam, bam, and hit him in the head and killed him. I had caught him in my hand. I was quick as a cat back in there. I did have fast reflex.
Yeah.
I went,
Catch
bam,
flies and everything.
I catch flies. I catch him before he could move. I said, bam, bam, and hit him. Just come out of me real quick. And when I did, well, he said, good night. Jerry said, good night. I like the way you did that karate chop. Oh, I got to tell you another. Back in those days, we had screen doors, and a black snake got in there. I don't know how he got in. I guess somebody left one of the screen doors open. He come through, and he's sitting back there good and cool up on the speakers. We had them all like PA stuff, and he was blowing in PA speakers. He's black and
He's black.
They said, oh, they didn't come out of her. They come out, and Mose, the guy that's running, he come out and said, get back there, we got a snake, you got to do something with him. I would have caught him by the head and just took him outside, but I didn't want, I just kind of felt like he was, they don't feel good, snakes don't. But I said, give me a glove. And he got one. I was going to put a glove on, and I walk over, I can get him before you do anything. I mean, I could just catch him. I caught flies, didn't I? Yeah. I just walk up to the fly and catch him right there, right there. They said, you didn't catch him. I opened my hand. But anyhow, I went back at that snake, and Daddy had, well, back when he helped me as a kid, you know, he made us a homemade blackjack. You know, he whittled it all out, and it was about that long. And I walked by, and I saw it hanging on the wall. I took it off, and I went there, and I looked right at him, like he did that steel, you know. I looked right at him. He's sitting there, coiled his head up like that, and I said, bam! I hit him right just between the eyes and broke it. I just smashed his head. He just died right there. And Mo said, man, I've never saw nothing like that. Said, you killed it. One lick just hit him right in the head, and he just fell over. I picked him up, took him out. You know. They all come back in, went back to work.
After that, they got back to work.
Break anyhow.
Lord.
Oh, buddy. Let's do the whole show for Joe Do. He listens
Joe
to us.
Do, he does.
I want Joe to call me right after the show, Joe, if you're listening to us. I got your number, but it's at home, and that's not going to do him no good over here. So if you're listening, Joe, give me a call. We got to talk about Doug now. It's his turn.
Okay.
He's got
Friday and Saturday, right?
Doug's got a big show Saturday night.
Okay.
He's got Johnny Fee, and he's got Ted Graves. It's a double hitter.
Okay.
And I mean, they put on a show, and usually he has huge crowds. So sometimes he has sellouts on that. But if you want to get a ticket, call Doug, or if you want to come over, well, just come on over. He'd be glad to have you. That's this Saturday night now. Johnny Fee, and boy, he's got a good band, and they love him. He plays occasionally over at Wild Wings with his band, and Ted does too. And you know, speaking of Wild Wings, it's not this Monday. It's next 2 Mondays. Wait, the 10th. Monday the 10th.
Monday. Yep, Monday the 10th.
Monday the 10th, and we have got a surprise show for you.
Uh-oh.
You got to be there. It's going to be one that's never been over before.
Uh-oh.
If it all works out like we got it planned. Sometimes it don't. Sometimes it snows, but it don't snow.
Everything works out the way it's supposed to. There you go.
Okay. We've got a funny show coming up for you and some good entertainment, but of course we got Danny Hutchins on the piano and Ken Bonham on the guitar and Rick Campbell on the fiddle and L.T. Sharp on the bass and Kenny Beans he's playing drum for us. We use a snare drum and but sometimes if he can't make it, we use three dog nights, ain't it? 3 dog nights.
Yeah.
Well, he can sing. He's a good neighbor. Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah. That's
Joy
right.
of the World. Well, a big song, wasn't it?
It was a huge song.
But we got him. He sets in for us. We just have different people if somebody can't make it, but we've got a lot of guests. We put on, it starts at 6:30. It's first show, 6:30 and 7:30. And they got plenty of food. You come in, don't cost nothing but what you eat. So just come over and eat with us, say hi to if you sing and play, or
come pick little.
Just come in. We put guests on. I mean, we love guests because that's our big thing.
That's right.
We got guests, but we got a lot of things happening over. So once you come over and see us, that's Wild Wings on Emily Road. Friday night, Monday night, the 10th.
There it is.
Monday night 10th. Now I think Doug has karaoke on Friday nights too. Yet I'm pretty sure.
And big show Saturday.
Karaoke on Friday night, and he has this big show coming up Saturday night. Want everybody come see the big show, and then if you want to see a bunch of drums and a bunch of instruments, come over to Sideville Music. Say hi to Anthony. He's tickling for seeing us because they split up. He's got one's got the music barn and all that, and the other's got the store. Because Doug had a lot of other things to do, other places, and after 2 or 3 years, you got sometimes the music business is hard to stay in a long time.
It is a hard business.
It's like restaurant business. It's pretty confinement.
Yeah.
You have to get somebody to run it for you or something. But I got out of it about, I guess, 3 years ago or so, 3 or 4 years. And I retired pretty much. I mean, a few other little things, and so it's better for me because I can work out of my office at the house now. I don't have to go in. I can get up if I want to and work if I want to.
That's
when they
it.
call me. It's like a guy said about Trump last night. JD, he said, they said, what about him? He said, well, I never saw nothing like him. I don't know when he ever sleeps. He called me at 1 o'clock in the morning. He said, you don't take that. She's about like Mr. Walker 4 hours, I guess.
That's exactly
That's
what
when I
it
sleep.
is.
But till we get to see you again next week, if it's a good Lord willing, Barney's supposed to be here, ain't he?
Yep, he said he's going to try and be here next
He'll be
week.
here probably next week, and may the good Lord bless you, and we hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and it's everybody think of something we can do for somebody to be good, and if we can do good things for, it's like Mr. Walker said, you be good to the Lord, and he'll be good to you. Ain't that right?
That's exactly right.
So till we see you next week, may the good Lord bless you.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12, or listen live online at WYSHradio.com.